Hello, hello, welcome to Dr. Doje Suave's Doom 64 playthrough. I figured with Doom Eternal coming out, and since I pre-ordered, it came with the Doom 64 port, now would be a great time to actually do a playthrough of what is, to me personally, my favorite single-player Doom experience prior to Doom 2016. This port is something I've been looking forward to for a while, and I will say, for what I've played of it so far, it does not disappoint. The master levels, well, I guess they call them the lost levels, have all been fairly fun, and I'll have videos on those soon after I'm done with this. And outside of some general control, just kind of complaints I have, the port itself has been fairly solid. So this playthrough is not an expert playthrough. It's not 100% secrets, kills, items. It's just me playing the game and having fun. Commentary's done after the fact and will be fairly sparse after this first video, mainly just commenting on things on screen or just some other observations I might have or little tidbits to add here and there. I mean, it's a Doom 64 game. If I talked the entire time, it'd be silent and I'd just be going, oh, there's a demon, there's a demon. So, as for Doom Eternal, I'm having a fun time with it. I like it. It's a great game. I'm about halfway through it. I'd say probably my only complaint was getting used to the whole having to juggle ammo, armor, and health with the Glory Kills Chainsaw Flamethrower, but now that I've played it for a bit, I'm actually enjoying the system. It's better than just running and gunning. Makes you actually think and kind of take everything in. Enemies are great. I love the weak point system, and the ability to dash and jump is probably one of my favorite things out of the entire game. I was a huge fan of Mirror's Edge, so it's kind of nice to have that level of just traversing the environment that Doom Eternal has. And so kind of focusing back here on the Doom 64 port, it's very well done. I know we have ports that have been done by the community, such as Absolution, and I think it was Doom 64 EX, the one that lets you use the Doom 64 ROM and put it in a bit of a wrapper. But this one's fairly well done. I've enjoyed it. Not having mouse look drives me nuts. I'm not used to it. I've been spoiled by the source ports, and you'll notice that my controls are a bit janky, especially when I get to the first secret level. I have trouble with the jumping puzzle simply because I'm not used to not being able to mouse look. The auto aim itself is okay. It has a bit of issue, but it's something I'm just going to have to get used to if I want to do this playthrough. So I'm going to be quiet for now and let the game do the talking. So something I do want to add here is one thing I loved about Doom 64 was the lighting. They did a great job using the hardware acceleration of the Doom 64 in order to provide a great environmental experience. I really do wish Doom 64 by itself had a multiplayer function on the 64, but from what I had understood in a past interview, and I'll try to find a link and post it in the description with this video, is that they either had a choice of adding multiplayer or doing a better job with the environment and some of the details and graphics, and they chose the latter, which, in my opinion, was a great choice. I don't think that, now that I think about it, Doom 64 DM would probably be fairly difficult to pull off to make it fun. So one thing you may notice throughout this playthrough is I get lost fairly easily. The last time I played any of the source ports for Doom 64 was probably years ago, and it's been a long time since I've played the 64 itself. So some of these levels I know, because I played it a ton as a child, I know a lot of them close to heart, but especially as we get into the later levels and the secret ones especially, I'm kind of lost on them. I knew how to get the first demon key, but when we get to the second and third demon keys, that's something I'm going to have to look up beforehand. And I'm not afraid to admit that I just forget over the years, so... So in this room here, something I noticed, when the 4 doors rise up, the switch you are supposed to actually throw in order to lower the blue key, the left and right screens in the N64 version have like a fuzzy broken texture on them, but in this one they just lower down. I'm not sure if they did that in the port to make it easier for the player to see or what. Not really sure what they were thinking there. What's funny is watching this after the fact, I look for secrets like crazy, but I end up finding all of them anyway. I think what happened is I see all the rockets, and I assume there's a rocket launcher in this level. Because it's Doom 64, once you get past map 4, the Hell Knights, they just open the floodgate. They lean on Hell Knights so hard in this game, it just gets to the point where it's almost tedious. So if you notice me looking for sorts of secrets and everything, that's why I'm just looking for something that's not there, because I'm hell-bent on finding this rocket launcher that just doesn't exist. So something I notice here, and I noticed it during one of my hectic runs, is that the game has an issue with seeing where you're at in terms of sectors and crushing ceilings. So back there, you notice the ceiling dropped down. It didn't struggle when it crushed me, and I was still able to move, but I still took damage. Normally you would kind of get slowed down, the ceiling would take its time, deal its damage, and then rise back up. In the hectic map, it did similar. I grabbed the green armor, I was clearly not standing in it, and it still damaged me, and I wasn't sure how. I'm sure it's just something with the port, but I do not remember it doing that in the N64 version. I'm telling you, there's a rocket launcher somewhere. I'll shoot every damn panel in this hallway. You know, I forgot that you open that door from the outside once you activate this here. So I remember as a kid seeing this for the first time and thinking it was the coolest shit ever. And that night I tried to recreate it using Wadded, which was an old Doom level editor for DOS. Safe to say I was unable to do so and very upset. But in my credit, I was also 12, so I thought, you know, the world was my oyster and I was some top shot WAD maker, when in reality all my levels looked horrible. And looking at some of them these days kind of brings a tear to my eye. It's like, man, young Doji, what were you thinking? Here I go looking for that rocket launcher again. I see the rockets and it just triggers something in me. I gotta find them. It's primal instinct. I'll find that launcher. So if you have any Doom 64 knowledge, you are not imagining things. I totally skipped the super shotgun for the first 90% of the level and forget it's there. And I even cleared the room with all the cacodemons without it. I think I actually remember I got halfway through killing all those cacodemons and I went, shit, isn't there a super shotgun somewhere? It must be up ahead. It's been so long, I don't remember. Maybe I'm misremembering things. And wish I would have had it at the time, that's for sure. It would have saved us a ton of time on this level. I liked all of the enemy remodels they did, especially the Arachnotron, except for the Cacodemon. I hate the way the Cacodemon looks in Doom 64. Just some brown and yellow arm-covered fucking mess. I missed the Cacodemon at the time that had the red and blue with the big green eye, and I'm glad they brought it back in 2016, and especially in Doom Eternal, they kind of upped the redness of them, which I think was very appropriate. Little too late for the super shotgun, but hey, at least I actually went and picked it up. I almost didn't. I almost went, well, maybe it's like that rocket launcher last level. I just forget where it's at, you know? Maybe there wasn't one in this level. I also hate using the partial invisibility sphere simply because I'm so used to dodging projectiles as they come in that with partial invisibility sphere, sometimes they will throw them to your left or right a couple degrees off to symbolize that they can't really see you. So what happens is you try to strafe, you end up strafing into it because they're missing on purpose. It's horrible. I don't know why I picked it up, but when I do my playground run, I won't pick any of them up against the Arachnotrons simply for that reason, because it just makes it harder to dodge everything. I also totally skip that door with stuff in it and just go straight for the exit. I have no idea what I was thinking at the time. It just kind of skipped my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, here's the exit, time to leave. And with that, that concludes the first 3 levels of Doom 64 PC port. I will have the second video up here in a day or two, so hope everyone has a great day.